If you watched my last video about Doctor Who, you may be wondering what my thoughts were after watching the Christmas special. I've got a lot to discuss, so I'm going to divide this into two videos. This video will focus on the new companion, and the other video will focus on the changes made to the title sequence. Okay, first of all, I just have to say this. I told you so! In my last video about Doctor Who, I showed a screenshot from the Christmas special trailer. Here's a screenshot now. As you can see, it's the Doctor kissing Clara. Actually, it's Clara kissing the Doctor, but oh well. Now, I had several people comment on this video and tell me that I was reading too deep into things, I was overanalyzing things, just calm down. Yeah, right! When I showed that, I was under the impression that it was just going to be a quick embrace. But after watching the Christmas special, Clara's all like... I know I was very harsh in my last video towards Moffat, mainly because of how he handles the companions. And you know what? I was completely just. The introduction of Clara is 10 times worse than the introduction of Amy. As a matter of fact, the introduction of the new companion is a complete rehash of Rose. Why do we have to wipe the slate clean and get reintroduced to the Doctor, even though he hasn't regenerated, every time the companion changes? The original series never did this, so why are we doing it now? Damn, Moffat, just because a few million fangirls hit puberty this year doesn't mean you have to backtrack for their sake. If the last 49 years are that important to them, they'll go back and watch the older episodes. You don't have to submit your audience to a crash course in the character of the Doctor every time the damn companion changes. This kind of writing shows blatantly that you're still trying to tell a story about a mysterious alien that travels through time and space from the companion's point of view. Why the fuck do you do that? God damn, if you still need something so simplistic in a series like this so that you can relate to it, you're not fucking Doctor Who material. Go watch Twilight reruns. Because the rest of us legitimate Doctor Who fans who watch it for the science fiction and understand who the Doctor is based on what we've seen the last 49 years, don't really give a damn if we don't relate to the characters. I'm not saying that we don't. I relate to Spock in the original Star Trek because he's logical and analytical, much like Avon and Blake 7. But even if I didn't relate to them, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to stick my nose up at it and not watch it because there's not a character in the series that I can't tie in with. And you know why? Because it's fucking science fiction, and I'm a science fiction fanatic. Is it so damned hard to just pick up where we left off at the end of The Angels Take Manhattan from the Doctor's point of view? I mean, after all, the show is about him. I was first in line to defend Matt Smith against the fangirls when they said the series would suck when David Tennant left. Because I knew that one Doctor leaving and another arriving was normal for this series. I had seen it for 49 years. I've tried to stay equally open-minded about the companions, especially since they rotate more frequently than the Doctor's incarnations. And after one episode with a new companion, I can say, I don't like her. For one, she's a complete slut. She barely fucking knows the Doctor, and already she's sticking her tongue down his throat and checking out his bum. No woman in Victorian times behaved like that. I understand that she's supposed to be outgoing and kind of a dreamer, actually like Amy Pond. But chasing after a man because of a snowman on Christmas Day after it snowed, climbing on the roof of a carriage, ripping the roof open, hanging inside, upside down, getting dressed in a carriage, and being okay with the fact that a man has just ascended a ladder and vanished into thin air? Again, I understand that Moffat was trying to illustrate that the character of Clara was more courageous and more adventuresome than her Victorian counterparts, but I think he went a little overboard. That character, if not the same person, was depicted exactly the same as the character from Asylum of the Daleks. All you ever hear me complain about is the companions, and with good reason. That's all the show is about now. This episode was titled The Snowman, but 75% of it was about the character of Clara. Why do we need a whole episode to introduce us to the companion? Why can't we just be introduced to the companion over the course of their stay in the TARDIS? That's the way it used to be done. As if that wasn't enough to make any self-respecting Doctor Who fan throw an action figure into their TV screen, she fucking dies at the end! What? Wait, hasn't she died once before? Yes, in Asylum of the Daleks! A companion that dies and somehow keeps getting resurrected by some mysterious greater power. Now where have we seen that before? Moffat, it's time to close up shop. You're really starting to sound like your villains. 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 You get my point. One final note about Clara, and perhaps the biggest thorn in my side. Moffat specifically said at the beginning of this season that there would be no story arc. Each episode would be a standalone story. What the fuck is the character of Clara if not another damn season-long story arc revolving around the fucking companion? As soon as I saw her in Asylum, I knew that was going to be Stephen Moffat's angle for this season. The same damn thing we got with Amy and Rory. And Donna. And Martha. And Rose. And Captain Jack. And Mickey. And Riversong. Have you ever watched the Key to Time series? The entire season had an overlying story arc that had nothing to do with Romana or the Doctor whatsoever. And what's wrong with that? Why does your intricate, complicated story have to be about character development? The Reboss operation was the opener for that season, the opener for the Key to Time story arc, and was the introductory story for the character of Romana. Did we spend the entire Reboss Operation episode learning about who Romana was? No! We learned about the character of Romana through the course of the story. In other words, the character of Romana was developed as a result of the initial plot line, not the other way around.